Yeah, what I love about hotspots. Lord have mercy. Woo!
The hotspot boy.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Daniel Loveless, and welcome to Hot Ones Caribbean. It's that show with the hot questions and even hotter wings. This episode is about the ultimate hot one, the Almighty. Today, I hold forth with none other than the Jesus Youth himself, Jaron Nurse. From the dark and hollow to the straight and narrow, Jaron's experience is truly uncommon where he comes from. He turned from a life of violence, hatred, and crime to being a self-proclaimed Jesus Youth. Jaron brings followers of Christ around the world to their feet with hits like Caribbean Christian, Wakanda, and Fed Up, which attracted more than 5 million views on YouTube since its 2019 release. He says God's intervention literally saved his life. Now a highly sought after minister through irresistible music, the soulful singer is crossing genres and borderlines, spreading the gospel with everyone who has ears to listen. Jaron, my brother, welcome to the show.
Daniel, thanks for having me to the show.
No problem, my brother. Now I know you grew up in Carnage, where is, sometimes considered a hot spot. But I want you to know that today, you're walking into a different kind of heat.
No problem, because I believe I'm a hot one.
You believe you're a hot one,
Yeah.
but you're a certified hot one right now, because you're in Hot Ones Caribbean. How is your pepper tolerance? You good with pepper?
Well, I'm not good at letting people know my weaknesses, so we'll see.
I love that response. But let's get right into it, Jaron, with the first pepper sauce that we have on the table here, which is the peri peri, tamarind, and bird pepper sauce.
Oh, I love tamarind. I'm feeling like I'm nervous. It's not a good sign.
Don't be nervous.
Go ahead.
How the taste buds feeling over there, my friend?
Not bad at all. Have a nice little tangy taste to it.
Yeah, the tamarind, this is the little bird pepper and thing.
I have that little taste too as well. Not a good sign.
Jaron, congratulations on the hit song Fed Up. 5 million views on YouTube. It's actually one of my favorite songs of yours.
Bless God, all credit to Jesus.
And you said in the song that you were fed up and you took a stand against violence and crime within Trinidad and Tobago. But what exactly are you fed up of, Jaron?
I'm fed up of at this point, beyond that song, I'm fed up of the people that promote negative music. It's getting to me, and what hurts me the most is when they react to when people do evil stuff, but most of them promote things that is, we're saying we're evil and degrading to young women. But then when we have situations like what happened to Andrea and Ashanti, and everybody come out of the blocks to make some noise, and that's good. But I wonder what's the other side of it, where we support those kind of music. So yeah, I'm tired of the medias that use their platforms to push that kind of negative music. Absolutely. We have enough of that.
I think the only evil thing right now is the pepper right now, because I don't see you reacting in there.
Well, I got Jesus on my side.
Well, I hope that he remains at your side.
He'll remain even if I have to leave, he will remain.
Absolutely. But what was going on in the nation at the time and in the community when you sang Fed Up?
It just had a whole scourge of violent music. And since back then, violence and negative things always seem to capture the attention of most medias, I don't know, I understand that itself. So I was really fed up at that. And what I did, I used these guys' songs, most of their negative songs, against them to show that, hey, we don't need the gun that long like Rapunzel, we don't need that, we don't need this, Let's study the youths.
And this song shed a lot of light on Jaron Nurse, because I myself, when the song released, right, I had a friend at the time, and she's a big Jaron Nurse fan, and she was like, Jaron Nurse, Jaron Nurse, Jaron Nurse. I was like, and I myself, when I played it, I became this big Jaron Nurse fan. But in my mind, I was wondering, but this man from Carnage, which is considered sometimes to be a hotspot in Trinidad and Tobago. So I was wondering, what are the conversations like with you and the members of your community who may not necessarily be on the right path? at this very moment and at that moment?
We always have good conversations because, I once wasn't, I was living a type of life that wasn't so correct and wasn't so Christ-like. So, but what I thank God for is that I keep a good relationship with them, and that's one of the things I consider to be my biggest blessing as a gospel minister, to be able to be relevant and still reach people on the street. And what I also thank God for is because some people know that I wasn't so good before, that some places I don't even have to testify. Just by seeing me lifting up the name of Jesus is enough for them.
And do you minister to these people?
Yeah, for sure, and always. And even what I thank God for, as I said just now, I can minister to them even in silence. I tell people that my testimony will always be louder than my music.
Absolutely. We do appreciate your confidence in the word, and that's definitely a hot one. And we're going to move on to the second pepper sauce on the table we have here, which is the Bazadi hot pepper sauce.
This one sounds like bacchanal.
So let me see if we could get Jaron Nurse Bazadi.
You could try.
Let me try, man.
For the lift and dip as well, or that's just for the... Oh.
You're coining a new term there on the show. That's a
lift
hot
and
one.
dip.
Lift and dip.
I'll send the bill after.
Alright. There we go. What are you doing there?
Not too bad at all.
I realize your voice got a little softer on the second
I'm a soft-spoken kind of guy sometimes.
Maybe it was a little louder on this one. Is it that the heat is, getting a bit intense?
Probably.
Caribbean Christian. So that's a big tune when you come out of this one here. And still to this day, it's a big tune. Still pumping everywhere. So I must ask the question, why soca?
Why soca? Is because that's my culture. One of the biggest downfall I see Caribbean gospel people make is when we go to foreign countries and we try to imitate them. And I don't think that is what they want. But
damn, Jaron, the second sauce on it. Heating you up already, boy?
Yeah. But I believe if we take what we have and what we're known for to them, that will be a better blessing. It's like some other country trying to bring doubles to me. I wouldn't really accept that. Why soca as well is because more than just culture, I would say that gospel is not limited to a genre. It have rock gospel, reggae gospel, soca gospel.
But so we had the man Bazadi already now.
Yeah, so when we did Caribbean Christian, it was that aim to reach people and encourage people all around the world, all around the Caribbean to enjoy themselves. As Christians, we could dancing in our blood and stuff like that.
But while the song was meant to encourage...
Oh my gosh, that's one of the side effects of pepper me. Just bring up a lot of gas.
So you consider yourself Bazadi now then? You're confused?
Semi.
So Jaron is semi Bazadi. But while the song was put out there as a means of positivity, you still found that you got a bit of pushback and disapproval from the Christian community. Why do you think that is so?
Because people have their measurement for salvation and their measurement for you or their measurement for what they think is the right way.
Right.
But I thank God because He used that to propel everything. That sometimes the negativity does bring a kind of attraction. They really put under some fire like this Bazadi. But I thank God He used that. So I tell people what Jesus did, He took a lot of my misery and made it my ministry, and I'm thankful for that. So because you see, I had people coming to find out what song they're really talking about. That of itself was causing the song to grow and gain some traction, and I thank God for that.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Unipet. This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Burger King.
In an interview, you said that the gospel is not necessarily a genre, but it's all about the message. Do you still take that same viewpoint today?
Yes. Correct, because the gospel is the message of Jesus, the good news of Jesus. So we could put it in anything, spoken word, rock, I say rock, rap, reggae.
Rock. I'm talking about the different. Because talking about the different genres, I know you give us the man confused, boy. You gave us reggae, you gave us dancehall, you gave us all different types of genres. Is it that you're trying to reach a wider audience, or Jaron Nurse just loves to dance?
No.
Because you gave us Afrobeats.
Well, what happened? Yeah, I whatever connect with me, I would record that. That is, I give God bless me. I don't really write music, so I'll just listen and record. And when we put it out, I'm making sense when I'm talking right now.
I hope so. I'm honestly trying to make sense out of what you're saying. But don't worry, I'm under the same beat as well, and I hope that the audience is understanding as well.
Yeah. So, where were we?
We are on to the next sauce right now, which we have the Maggi spicy with shadow benny. You like shadow benny? Just cook with that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, Shadow Benny is a boss when you put him in chow, boy.
In chow.
He's any type of chow. He's the cousin. There's go good together. They're related.
We'll call him Shadow Cousin.
Yeah.
But let me try the Maggi spicy with shadow benny now, man.
If it's one thing I'm making sure and bite where. Excuse.
Don't eat out all the wings, because I might ask you to take a second nip. But how the taste buds going over there? Describe the taste of the pepper sauce.
I think the Maggi really nice. Have a nice flavor to it.
Let's throw it back a bit to 2019 for your second concert on Common Reloaded, which I was actually there in the concert. What inspired the theme of the concert? Because I know you came in with a horse, and I was like, nah, this man, something wrong with this man. This man coming with a horse. What inspired that theme?
Well, that's an interesting question. Thanks for being there as well. What inspired the theme is going on the main song that caught the hype, Fed Up. Living in a gunman town, and no better way to bring it in but in a western town then. So that's why you see that kind of western theme came in on a horse and stuff like that.
And you use the phrase living in a gunman town, and I must ask you to sing a line of one of my favorite songs that they sang.
Living in a gunman town.
Come on, line now, man.
You're singing better than the singer. We don't need no gunman sound, no. Living in a gunman town. We don't need no gunman sound, no.
Where does the name Uncommon come from, Jaron?
That came out in church a day, and my pastor, who is one of my biggest inspiration, Pastor Michael Douglas Bradford, he bought a book for us, the young men, and he said, the name of this book is Uncommon Man, and he started to share.
Did he actually say it like that, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for that. Right. Yeah, he said the name of this book is Uncommon Man, and I want, my young men to be uncommon, in ways that uncommon favor. And right away that would click with me, because I always knew I was called to be different. And being different, some people mightn't understand. But when that word came, I said, yeah, that word is for me. Like Spirit of God just say, yeah, that's you there. Uncommon.
And then we have Uncommon Rides. What's the inspiration behind that entrepreneurial move that you made?
Uncommon Rides is a blessing. It wasn't my aim. God blessed me with a boat that I bought as some people considered garbage. And after spending time with it, it became a nice finished product. And I said, you know what, I want to share this with youths from homes and orphanages and stuff, to be able to do that for them at no cost. But then I realized that it was taking a lot from me. So Uncommon Rides is a platform for people to come and enjoy themselves and pay. But it will always be free to homes and orphanages and stuff like that. It's one of the biggest blessings that God has blessed me with. I meet a lot of people there.
Wonderful, man. We must commend your entrepreneurial efforts. And I see you also came to the interview wearing your own brand, Jesus Youth. What's the inspiration behind this brand that is yours?
Jesus Youth is actually a song that I sang for my first album launch, in 2017. Telling them that I'm a Jesus Youth and I'm original. The life that I live in, I'm no criminal. That even though I live in a ghetto, it's like, ghetto life is not easy. Lord, I want you to keep me. Even though things get crazy and I'm living in the midst of everything, I know that I'm called to be different, and I'm a Jesus Youth, and I encourage youths to, stand out and stand up, represent Christ, let them know that you're a Jesus Youth and you're not afraid. But that's where it comes from, 2017.
Absolutely. We're gonna now move on to the next pepper sauce we have on the table here, which is the Alvin's hot pepper sauce, and this is an award-winning pepper sauce.
What about Alvin?
Well, let me dip down. How the Alvin's going on over
Not
there?
too bad, Alvin. Alvin have a nice taste as well.
In some of the earlier songs, we have Carnage, Nice Again. In a lot of songs, you know, you represent your country. You're a true Trinbagonian, and you represent the Caribbean well, and you do us proud. So I must ask you, what does it mean to you being a Caribbean man? What does being a Trinbagonian mean to you, Jaron?
Being a Trinbagonian, you know, is one of my biggest blessings as well, you know. Because of our location, I would say we're blessed with a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent, and I'm always proud of that. One of the things I boast most about is those old time calypsos. One being my favorite, the one called Lion the Liar. You know how they went out on that song.
Yes.
I say, well, yeah, only Trinis could do something like that. Trinbagonians could do such a thing. So yeah, I'm proud to be a Trinbagonian.
I never hear that song, you know. Sing a line in the song for me.
Right now, and I'll explain the song to you. That cool? It's about two guys talking about their dad. It's an old time clip, so I love listening to old time music. But they're boasting about their dad. So one guy said his dad went and catch a fish so big he had to come back and get a fisherman to help pull the fish. The next guy said, well boy, that joke, because that fish your father hold, my father used that as bait.
Right.
Next man says his father is such a good tailor. You just have to watch it and he would sew something for you. The next man said, well boy, my father is such a good tailor. You just had to show him the corner that the man passed. I think that was genius.
Right. I gotta go look into that song, boy. I feel uncultured now.
Alvin, I'm under some pressure.
Yeah, Alvin had the man scratching his neck, all kind of thing. I understand why you winning all these awards.
Yeah.
But what about our beautiful sister Isle Tobago? What do you love the most about Tobago?
The waters, the people, you know. Tobago is love.
Describe Trinidad and Tobago in one word for me.
Amazing.
Amazing. I love that word.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago. This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Be Mobile. Like, comment, and subscribe.
And we're gonna move on to the next amazing pepper sauce we have on the table here, which is the Caribbean flavors, the Sizzler. Sizzle up the taste buds a little bit now. Yes, Jaron Nurse, I am ready when you're ready, my brother.
Let's go.
If you need some milk, we have some Enjoy milk here for you. So if you need something to calm the palate a bit, because I feel I need something to calm the palate.
One thing I don't play bashful at all. Never bashful.
You're taking it.
Milk and bad at all though.
In an intimate portrait in an ACTN interview, you mentioned that, you know, when you were younger, your mom had a dream, right? You're laughing. Yeah, your mom had a dream that, you know, she found the marijuana on you, and you know, when she was praying for it, and it actually turned out to be true. Why were you selling marijuana in school, Jaron?
Honestly, I really had no reason to, but what I suffered with is a sickness called unforgiveness, and that also invited low self-esteem because of my story being adopted from 2 weeks old because my dad was hooked on drugs. My mom was mentally ill. So I was then adopted by my godparents. But in the community, you know, people who know my story would tell me all the hurtful things. You know, your father is a piper, your mother mad. All those sort of stuff. And it was hurtful, you know. So because of that, I went out to school and searching for identity. I started doing wrong things, following the wrong company.
Right.
And that's when I started selling marijuana, because it was selling, making money.
Yeah, making money, so you needed that money then.
Not that I needed it, but I got to do a lot more things that without my parents knowing.
Right.
Which was wrong.
So how was that transition period?
It was easy. Because I found something greater. Jesus is, as I would say, my superstar. But what I was also thankful for, even though in that transition God still allowed me to keep in contact. And in an uncommon way, whereas as much as I'm on the right path now, they would never feel out of place around me. Right. They would still show their respect though, they might smoke, some might struggle not to curse. But
pressure over there, boy.
Yeah.
A literal struggle not to curse.
Struggle? No, no, without my part. But I thank God that even though I was within that transition and I'm on a different path, God still allowed me to keep in contact. So that's why we really hurt when I see, friends pass away and stuff like that, because I still consider them friends, and I keep them close because the message that God bless me with is also a message for them as well. So I can't keep them far and want to reach them. The closer you are to me, is the easier to reach.
So Jaron, before we go to the next one, you mentioned that you found Jesus, and that was the transition. Can you tell me the story about how you found Jesus?
I found Jesus. It's a funny story because I was growing up in church. But it's also possible for you to grow up in church and you're far from Jesus. I tell people I was like a fish. When you're seasoning fish, you had to add salt, but a fish spent all his life living in salt water. And that was me growing up in church, but Jesus was not in me. Until I really had an encounter. It was a carnival camp, and that is when that experience, I'm gonna, yeah boy, Jaron, I'm not just real, but it's time to wake up. And yeah, that was the climax. Yeah.
And you mentioned that it was a hard time forgiving your father for what he did, your biological father for what he did to your family. So how did that moment feel when you picked up the phone to call him?
Well, it was a bit weird and awkward, but I know I had to do it because the Spirit of God spoke to me. I was in San Fernando Hill and he told me, hey, look how you call yourself a gospel singer, but you didn't forgive your father yet. And that shocked me. I got his number from my sister and I called him. That was the weirdest call for him as well.
What was he called like?
I was like, I never call him daddy. Never, ever. So I was like, Roger. He was like, yeah. I said, there's Jaron here. He said, Jaron? I said, I mean, forget about son named Jaron. He said, no, it's just weird that you would call me. I said, well, yeah, I just call you to tell you that I love you and I forgive you for everything that the way I was thinking towards you and stuff like that. And he said, all right. We had a talk. And that's how that happened. But what I thank God for that, forgiveness is never for them. It's for us. It's to make us a better person. And that is when God really blessed me with songs like Caribbean Christian about 2 weeks after and started traveling and things. So unforgiveness and things that's just really hinder you as an individual. But I thank God, I tell people I had so much hate in me. I fell in love with hate. I could have been an advocate for unforgiveness because I was like unforgiveness permanent secretary.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, beer vibes in ya, this a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're the on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the National Lotteries Control Board. Now let's create benefits.
We're gonna move on to the next pepper sauce now, Jaron, which is actually Tempo's very own pepper sauce. The House of Tempo Hot Pepper Sauce. When you're ready, let me dip the thing now, man.
Oh.
Alright, there you go. Yeah, any pepper turning up in the man mouth, boy. Tell him, man.
Thank you, Jesus. A good day.
Another day of life, eh?
Mm-hmm.
How the pepper dealing with you over there?
This one, he ain't taking tame at all. Taming at all.
While he hot.
The temple lion.
Tempo is actually celebrating its 15th year anniversary this year, which is actually 15 years of promoting Caribbean culture.
That's a blessing.
And Tempo is actually built on a deep love for the Almighty by its founder, Dr. Frederick Morton.
That's a blessing as well. That's a great foundation. Good place to start.
One of the earliest shows that Tempo had was actually hosted by the great late radio personality, Jamie Thomas.
That's my big brother. Good friend as well. You know, we'd interact often with him being a radio personality and spearheading the 107 Gospel station. Yeah.
And definitely a man who believed in the Caribbean culture.
Yes, and a pioneer for Caribbean gospel music as well.
So what does being a Caribbean man mean to you, Jaron Nurse?
It means a multicultural arena. You know, I love traveling to the Caribbean and seeing and witnessing the different cultures, you know, the different food, the different people. I always and would always have a love for people.
Yes.
You know, I enjoy meeting new people, trying new stuff. I'm always on the adventurous side of things, you know.
Right.
So like when I go to Barbados, I always talk about this. They know once Jaron come here for a concert,
Yes.
drop him to the hotel and then take him to the shooting range. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So yeah, that's
And
what
the music has taken you all around the Caribbean. So name some other islands other than Barbados that you visited.
Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis,
Man, I keep forgetting you.
Jamaica, Guyana,
Jaron, you went everywhere?
Grenada. Yeah, most I think it's only Montserrat and some other places the only place I've never been to in the Caribbean.
I think the pepper made the man say Monsterrat.
Yeah.
Monster. The pepper monstrous.
Yeah, Dominica all over, thank God for it.
And who are some of your main Caribbean gospel influencers?
Samuel Medas, you know, Positive, Blessed Messenger, Mark Isaac, a lot. Most of my peers, you know, Nathaniel, Bijan Prayer,
Right.
a lot of them. But I admire Samuel Medas, you know, for his musical ability as well. He's not just a singer, he's a prolific songwriter, singer, and musician. You know, I did a lot of shows with him as well, and I had the privilege of looking at him, you know, and I learned a lot. The way he would show signs because he knew numbers, and he would control a band with just literally his fingertips.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
And which island's culture has impacted the music the most?
Well, I'd say Jamaica. You know, I love reggae music. That's one of my favorite. Then, you know, soca, for sure. I'm Trini to the bone.
And what about the reggae inspires your music?
I believe the message that I have and the targeted audience, the lyrics God has blessed me with, the reggae would be the best vehicle because it's that kind of mellow meditation. Like, yeah, I could really hear what he's saying rather than something fast and
Right.
you're eating up the words. So when it's dancing vibe, I go to soca. When I really want them to hear something, I would go to the reggae or the dancehall because that's what the youths gravitate to.
And sing your favorite reggae song that you sang. Gospel reggae.
Right now,
Gospel
and when my
reggae, that is.
and when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Recession in my country, Jesus will provide. The pepper burning me,
Jesus, He will provide.
Jesus will provide.
But what He providing you with today is our next pepper sauce, which is the 7th pepper sauce on the table, the Bertie's hot pepper sauce.
Well, I've been hearing about Bertie for a while.
When you ready to do the dip, are you ready?
The Bertie I know, brother Bertie from church was always a strong guy.
I hope this one is a strong pepper.
It looks so.
Man, open your eye wide, yes? We're going to your brain right now, boy, Jaron Nurse, boy. speechless. Well, while you're having that drink here, we have a segment on this show called the What You Know segment. This is my segment on the show. Now, as you know, I travel the world asking people simple questions. So I'm going to ask you some simple questions here today. For each question that you answer incorrectly, you need to take a second dip in the booties. And if you answer them correctly, I go take a second dip.
Not bad at all.
This is the very first question. Well, it's a two-part question. Jaron, do you remember the first time you appeared on What You Know?
Yes.
What asked you to spell?
Cricket.
Ah, boy, and he actually spelled it correctly. So I'm going to ask you to spell a word today, and this was actually the first place we met. Spell the word macreep for me.
Well, that is incorrect because the first place we met, that was on the boardwalk. So you can either take a dip or ask me to spell boardwalk.
Macreep was close, my brother. It's right there. It's right there. Spell the word macreep for me.
Oh gosh.
Try to think now, man.
M-E-C.
Right.
Q.
Yes.
U-A-R-I-P-E.
No, U-E-R-I-P.
What?
That is why you're gonna take a next
You
step.
one letter, boy.
Dip it, dip it, dip it, dip it.
But if you make me feel like I want to pee and all.
You want to pee, you want to do everything. But later you ain't gonna be peeing, you're gonna be doing something else.
I find you should have shown a little leniency because one letter. My wife will be disappointed because you always teach me to spell that word.
Wifey, you see how we catch him? And this is the second question here. So they're burning up right now. What is the name of the instrument that is used to measure the heat of pepper?
A heatometer.
A heatometer, I like that one, you know. But it's actually called a Scoville scale, Jaron Nurse. And you have won yourself a second dip. Give me a dip now, man. I want to burn up too.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Be Mobile. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, we're now going to move on to the next pepper sauce we have on the table here, which is the Matux Trinidad Scorpion Pepper.
Popular guy. It actually have a nice flavor, even though it's hot.
A nice flavor, you see, the Trinidad Scorpion Pepper. A nice flavor.
Yeah. But it's a creeper.
And describe in a paragraph for me what's going on inside that mouth right now.
I always wanted to read news, so I'll get the news thing, right? On the left side, it's been quite at a high temperature. You know, seas are below sheltered areas, calm and moderate. The right side seems to be a bit runny. But in one paragraph, I simply say, behind the scenes, which is up in the brain cells, it's causing some still a bit of the brain cells protesting. They want to know what's going on up front.
Right.
But yeah.
Jaron, you may not agree with some of the messages, with some of the music that comes out of some of the artists within Trinidad and Tobago, but there's still a mutual love and respect. How do you manage to balance that relationship with these artists?
Because they're still people, they're still friends. To some point, I understand, you know, what they say. We always go back and forth in conversations, and their biggest thing is that, you know, that's what the youths want. You know, the next thing they say, you know, that's what the youths know. And I say, why not show them something different? You know, if it's one thing, growing up, I'm buying a lot of pit bulls.
Serious thing?
Yeah. And if it's one thing I know about pit bulls, because of their...
Because of their
origination, you know. Lacking words, you know. Because of their personality. You don't teach them aggression. You teach them discipline. So because of the youths living in hotspot, I think you don't get them more negative things.
Yes.
Just teach them how to manage it.
Yes, and I admire in that song "Fed Up" how you use some of the lyrics and put a twist to it in some of the Trinidad music and the same music, and he turned it and gave it a positive twist. And I think that's one of the things that I admire most about that song. But then I must ask, do you have any intentions of doing a collaboration with some of your brothers, Prince Swani, Jelano, or any other Trinidad artists?
I don't do things unless God give me the green light. And in that case, for sure, it will have to be something positive. But I'm always concerned about what they would do thereafter. I don't want to do a song because I'm never about what's trending and what's popular. So I don't want to do a song because I do it with this person now get a lot more attention. No, I want to do it that because alright, God say go ahead and go do it, and because we do this, it could attract and change the mindsets of youth, and not just the youth but also the people that is involved. So after your life after the song could still be a blessing to the kids.
But what we can expect and what God did ordain is for Jaron Nurse to test out the next pepper sauce we have here on the table, which is the old duppy fire pooch pepper sauce.
I heard about him as well.
How it smelling?
Yeah, baby.
I ain't even going to ask you what you think fire pooch mean, because that really might be a godly conversation to have. So let me not go there, but let me take a dip. I see you start to give my Caribbean dance there. You move like a real Caribbean Christian there. How are you doing over there?
The pepper sauce just a pose, man. He's like, don't dance, don't cool yourself. Wow!
Jaron, we have a recurring segment on this show called Explain That Gram, powered by B-Mobile. And I must say a special thank you to B-Mobile for this amazing Samsung tablet here that we're using.
Much love to B-Mobile.
The quarantine really hit you here, but what else doing here? See, doing a challenge here. COVID, how you doing some kind of things, boy?
As the Cricks Olympics.
What
Yeah.
inspired that challenge, boy?
There's a game we play most at the church, novelty games and stuff like that, family time, where you put that cracker or a cookie on your face and you try to get it down. And up to last night I was playing that with some friends on Instagram.
Right.
But what the fun in it make you twitch your face on all different type of level. You're not doing bad at all, Jaron. Thank you, Jesus, for that.
About this picture here, Captain Jaron. So when people book their rides, are you the captain?
Yes, most times. You know, some people find, because I don't have to, but especially when children get there, you know, I love to see how they would react to see, hey, I'm in Uncle Jaron boat, and I just have a different love for kids, you know, that kind of way. So yeah, most times Captain Jaron is the captain. If not, you know, they will have Captain Byron, Rocky, and all the others, but I'll be right there as well.
You see this this picture here, this video here, which was posted on January 31st, 2020. It says, "Getting my abs in shape." Can we see your abs, Jaron?
My goodness. Yeah, that was me working out there.
Are the abs in shape now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still working out?
Well, I tried something a few days ago, but I'm in pretty good shape.
I agree.
I might be the Daniel Loveless type, but I can manage, you know?
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Unipet. This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago.
Let's work on the next pepper sauce we have here, which is the final pepper sauce on the table. You've made it to the end. Let's go to the habanero 100% scorpion pepper sauce. You ready?
This is going to be easy.
There we go. Prepare it.
Well, I could take shade up and dip heavy on this one. And?
But Jaron, we have a tradition we like to do here called the last dab. It's optional, but that's what we ask our guests, our celebrity guests, to put a last dab of pepper on the chicken and eat it. It's optional. You
It's
know
optional.
the last dab with me?
If I say no, it wouldn't be that I run the full length, and I believe in running the full length.
Alright. Jaron Nurse, let's do it.
Woo! Actually, I have a nice taste.
A nice taste, you said. You are actually the first guest on the show to say that have a nice taste.
Yeah, but this is a fast creeper.
A quick one. It hit you one time.
Yeah. But there's no problem in life that I cannot manage with the strength of Jesus, you know.
You need some milk for that one. And this is the hot moment powered by Andrews. It's indeed a hot moment. How does it feel to reach the end of all the pepper sauces, boy?
It's indeed a blessing.
Will you hit them for 6 with the Love Technician song? What was the inspiration behind that song, Love Technician?
Well, being a married man coming home, sometimes things just need to fix.
Jaron Nurse is the man to fix it.
That's correct.
And which part of the gospel you wanted to expand on in this song?
Enjoy your marriage. Marriage is an enjoyable thing. This one burning already back, boy. Who can permission to...
But not even a married man, Jaron, is exempt from temptation. So how do you deal with temptation? All these followers on Instagram, 5 million views on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of followers worldwide. How do you deal with temptation, Jaron? How do you deal with the ladies in the DMs?
Dealing with temptation can often be a challenge, but only when you find yourself far from God. I tell people your life is like a pandemic, and the word of God is like the press conference where you would go to know your restrictions and your limitations. The word of God is also like
Press conference.
I say it's like it's the voice of God. When you're talking to someone on the phone, you need it close to you. So the closer you keep that to you, is the further you keep problems and temptations away from you. Or the easier you learn to manage temptation. That doesn't mean that temptations wouldn't come or you're exempted from that.
Wow.
But it means that you learn to deal with it. Because even Jesus, after he was on his high spiritually, the devil came to tempt him. But he knew his word and he knew how to deal with it.
But Jaron Nurse, the press conference is the word, which is what teaches you how to deal with the temptation. But how does Jaron Nurse deal with the temptation?
One of the best ways is by using wisdom, which God has blessed us with.
Right.
What helps me in this case, because sometimes, you see pretty girls, you see nice people and stuff. If they try to converse with you, you just might indulge. And that might just be on a friendly level. But to avoid that, what I do, I open up my platforms, and this is a nice method. Whoa! Open up all my platforms where my wife have my passwords and stuff. And sometimes even my manager have some of my passwords and stuff. So that means has me
A responsibility.
keeping transparent and stuff like that.
But before Jaron Nurse knew the word of God, do you have any decisions that you made that you regret, Jaron Nurse?
Man, a lot. A lot. To name a few, I regret selling marijuana in school. You know, seeing that it was an addictive substance. You don't know where that could lead to. You know, but as my younger self, that's something I regret. Thankfully, I don't have any regrets as to young ladies because I was never the type to play with young women, heart and stuff like that on that major level. Boy!
Jaron Nurse, most embarrassing moment. The pepper eating you up. Most embarrassing moment, Jaron Nurse.
When I'm most embarrassing moment, I ever feel like an embarrassment moment too embarrassed to talk about. So I'll talk about the second one, which was also embarrassing.
Right, you'll take that.
Came from theatre. Did a project with my school in collaboration with QRC, where we did a movie for the British Council. On that project now, in the closing, at that time, the then former Prime Minister wife, which is Hazel Manning, she was the Minister of Education.
Yeah.
They had an awards for us in Movie Town. Excuse. Went to one of the theaters. But the pants I had on wasn't mine. Was a little big. Belt burst. Had to walk up on the stage by the podium to receive that award. Man, I fold the pants. You know that way when you they did stitch it away. But like that stitch didn't work. So I had to fold the pants. Fold the pants.
Doing okay over there?
Yeah.
You use the bathroom?
After.
Okay.
But when I walk in, if you see how I had to walk to collect this award because you had to keep the knees together. Right? And walk to keep the pants up. Yeah, that was one of the most embarrassing moments. The next one, too embarrassing.
So you leave that one there?
Yeah, boy.
You leave that one there. But the next time we have Jaron Nurse on the show. And that was my final question, Jaron Nurse. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You're now a certified hot one. And this is the part of the show where I roll out the red carpet for you and give you an uninterrupted 30 seconds to look at this camera, this camera, this camera. Talk to the people. Promote what you need to promote. Talk to the people, Jaron Nurse.
Well, though I'm here and God have blessed me businesses and brands, I don't want to promote that right now. I want to promote Jesus because that is what will keep you out here. That's the only thing that will never fail. That's the product that we want to bring to you. I myself want to bring to you that can keep you in your most difficult moments, because I tell people Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me. Stay connected to heaven, and when you do that, no man on earth could pull your plug. Blessings.
My name is Daniel Loveless, and that was the Jesus Youth himself, Jaron Nurse. See you next time on Hot Ones Caribbean.
We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.
Alright, that's a wrap, right? That's a wrap.
Hey, I enjoyed, boy. I enjoyed. I ain't do bad.
Spice it up like fire.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago. Like, comment, and subscribe.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.